Hello, Lake County residents. My name is Thomas DeWalt,
And I am Joyce Overton,
and welcome to Lake
Life.
Folks, today we have some special guests. We have Justin Gaddy and Faith Hornby from Hope Rising and the Hope Center. Welcome, folks.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So I have a question. Were you Lake County? Were you Miss Lake County?
You've uncovered it. I was Miss Lake County back in 2016,
All
where I got
right.
to serve my community.
There you go. So
yeah.
that was your community service. That's the start
Right,
of all this,
yeah.
right? Kind of some questions about the Hope Center. So one of the things, one of the questions was, is Hope Center now their own nonprofit? Because I think when they started, they were under Adventist Health, and were filing for their own nonprofit. Have you guys completed that process, or
Yeah,
how's that
so
working?
actually, Hope Center is in partnership with many of our local partners at the table. We have Adventist, we have Lake County Behavioral Health Services, Partnership Health Plan, Lake County Continuum of Care, all under one umbrella with the Hope Center. So it's not its own nonprofit entity. However, Hope Rising is the nonprofit entity that is operating the Hope Center.
And that's kind of what I said. I didn't know that because Hope Rising years ago when it first started, I was kind of involved in the Hope Rising trying to get it, and everybody had all these things going on, and I was like, can't we have like one organization and
Yeah.
not have everybody doing the same thing or similar things? And so that's, I think, when David Santos was like, let's sit down and make one thing.
Right. Yeah. To have
and that's
everyone.
how Hope Rising came in. Yeah.
Exactly. To have everyone at the table, we have 13 board members, all executive directors around the lake. It's just working together to, what is needed for Lake County. So it's a great collaboration.
So Hope Rising is the incorporation, and you guys are all under their umbrella.
Yes,
Okay.
we are our own nonprofit, 501c3. Yeah.
The Hope Center is, or the Hope Rising?
Hope Rising.
Right,
So Hope
okay.
Rising operates the Hope Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's a good clarification because I've had that question asked me. I was like,
We get it asked a lot
No,
as
I
well,
don't.
so
Right. I don't know.
it can be complicated.
because I think when Hope Center started, they had talked about getting their own nonprofit. When they came to the council, they said, well, we're kind of working on getting our own nonprofit, but they were just they hadn't had the
Right.
building or anything.
Getting
it was
a
just
nonprofit.
It was kind of just the name and
Sure.
and their ideas and stuff. So I was just wondering how it actually ended up falling.
Yeah,
through.
getting a nonprofit involved with it, which turned
Right.
out to be Hope Rising.
Right, and
so.
that's, I think, was a good choice. I think that's a
Yeah.
good choice. So.
And
Okay.
Faith, what is it? What is your title? What do you do for Hope Rising?
I'm
Hope Center?
executive director.
Oh,
so
of this location.
of Hope Rising.
Oh,
Yep.
the-
So
okay.
I get to oversee Hope Center. I get to collaborate on drug overdose response. I get to also collaborate on youth initiatives. As Hope Rising, we really focus on the top statistical health and wellness needs in the county. So we're focusing on 3 big ones right now.
Excellent. And Justin, well, I know you as a coach. And what's your title? What do you do?
I'm the project manager, and
Okay.
Faith and I came in, it seems like we've been here for a while, but only a few months now.
Yeah.
And so my job is primarily focusing on the youth. I have 3 major projects that I'm working on within your project is Youth Opiate Response, the ACT, All Children Thrive, and then our big initiative that we just opened up, which is Smart Start Bright Future. All focusing on
Smart
youth.
Start, Bright Future.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And what do you do with that one? That particular one, since you said it sounded like.
Yeah.
Let's see, you can say that 10 times.
Yeah, right.
Tongue twister.
Been working on it. It's pretty amazing. We had an opportunity to come in the door, and we have all these projects on the table, and be able to come in and pick up and run with these projects and really add a lot to them. Faith has done an amazing job with this program and getting the vision of these programs headed in the right direction, and then myself and some of the vistas that work on some of these projects working on getting them headed in the right direction. Smart Start Bright Future was huge when all of a sudden you started bringing in Senator Mike McGuire. You started bringing in 10,000 Degrees and the John Jordan Foundation, and these different players such as KUSD's superintendent, Becky Salito, and it's amazing to have all these different people in our community that are, like you talked about, you have all these different people working in different areas and coming together to sit at the same table and try and help out youth in our community.
Well,
It's pretty remarkable, pretty
and
remarkable.
that's, youth was always a big thing. I mean, I started the youth center down here, and
Yeah.
that was my project. And the kids that came in, you know, a lot of them get in these gangs and stuff just because they feel that's the only place that somebody cares and stuff.
And status and,
Yeah.
and
Sure.
yeah,
Right.
these things that give them, you know, recognition they feel.
Right, but sometimes when you talk to them, like we had a dance one time and one of the kids was gonna leave with some gang guys and I just went out and I kinda watched him talk to him and I said, okay, you have choices here.
Sure.
You know, and these are your choices, you can come back in, your friends can come in, I'll let them in for nothing if they take all their colors off. And, you know, by the time it was all over with, they did come in.
Sure.
And at the end, they liked it so much that they actually stayed and helped clean and said,
Nice.
and you know, you talk to them, why do you belong in these gangs and why are you doing these drugs and why are you doing these things? It really boils down to they just are bored and they want somebody to care and they don't have it there and it's unfortunate
Yeah.
that that's how they are. So they run the streets and who's going to care the most? Gangs and drugs.
Sure.
You know, those are the ones that are going to take them in.
Exactly.
So they have. So I think that's catching them at that young age
So important.
is extremely important. I've seen some of them that went through our center when I was there that are, you know, I mean, I'm like really proud of because they came in and they had so many problems and they made something of themselves and it's kind of nice to see that, you know, when changing one life, like I tell people, you don't realize when you just change one person's life, you're not just touching that person's life, but you're touching tens of thousands of people throughout their lives. So you're not changing one, you're changing a whole lot more,
Right.
you just don't see it.
There's a ripple effect that
Right,
happens.
you don't
like that.
see it.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
one of the things we were actually doing this week as one of our topics is to help the youth with drug overdose response. We actually had our team go out firsthand into the community at where the skate park
Yeah, skate park,
and
House
just
Park, yeah.
educate our youth and give them actual Narcan kits
Oh, that's
to
awesome.
Okay.
do overdose reversals. Basically, Narcan's safe to use, but
Right.
not everyone knows what Narcan is. So
Right.
distributing all those out into the community and showing our kids it's safe and effective if something does
Yeah.
happen.
I carry
Well,
one in my car.
Like you say, you know, not everyone knows about Narcan. I'm unfamiliar with it, and when you say that, I see, you know, we watch, you know, these television shows that you know, follow along paramedics and stuff, and they use these.
Right.
Then you go, wow, okay, so you're teaching people in our community to use this anti-drug, you know, on
Right.
overdose victims. Is that right?
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
just,
we.
yeah.
Mhm.
We just found our 2 police officers because they saved
Yep.
several people's lives with the Narcan.
Yeah,
You
so-
know, because they were smart enough to have it and use it, you know, to me is like, you know, they saved lives.
Right.
doing
We
that.
partner with the fire department, police department all around the lake, just to provide those kits out. So that's a big project of ours that we will continue to do because it's so needed.
Yep.
As unfortunately, Lake County is the highest rate in overdose deaths in California.
And
Wow.
what's really unfortunate too is earlier this week there was actually somebody passed away.
Oh,
And then the very next day, there was 3 people that were admitted to the hospital. And so what ended up happening was we got contacted at Hope Center and said, hey, there's some stuff going on. Is there any Narcan kits that we can get provided?
Right.
A number of people contacted us from the community. We were able to reach out to them. And there's actually a few people that went down to the park and actually went and talked to kids and just say, hey, what's going on? Get the word out there so we can get
community
information.
awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was what it was, and that's what's so special about what we do is that the amount of people and the communication to work together to reach out to people and say, hey, look, here's what's going on. You know, we're not here to judge, we're not here to point the finger, we're here to help you and provide services and help you out through this process. So it was really important. Our Vistas went down there again today, handed out
Right.
kits again, did a little bit of follow-up. We're gonna do some more follow-up as well.
That's great.
It's
yeah.
pretty awesome.
And a big part of this Hope Center, Hope Rising, is Pastor Shannon. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to meet her, and folks, we're going to give you a chance now to meet Pastor Shannon, and we're going to cut away and introduce you to her right now.
Hi, I'm Pastor Shannon, and I have been a pastor in Lake County for 21 years. And when I first came to Lake County, there were not very many full-time pastors. Many of the churches were served by part-time pastors, but United Christian Parish was where I was at was a full-time ministry. And so a lot of people came to United Christian Parish looking for help. So I was able to see the gaps that we had in our community for what people really needed. The first thing that we did was to start a food pantry where people could get supplies, foods that they could eat immediately, but we also had hot meals where people could just come and we would serve them a meal. The more I got to know the people that were coming to the food pantry and to the free kitchen project, I learned that homelessness was a much larger issue in Lake County than I knew it to be when I first moved here. We didn't at that time have any homeless shelters of any kind in Lake County. So I started working to open up a homeless shelter. And the sorts of things that people said to me was, if you open up a homeless shelter, they'll come here. And I would say to them, we need a homeless shelter because we have people who are experiencing homelessness in Lake County. It's not about bringing people here, it's about serving our neighbors. It took 15 years before I was able to get that first shelter open, and that was the Warming Center. And I think one of the things that really allowed us to open the Warming Center in a way that had not been possible before was the sheer devastation of the Valley Fire. After the Rocky Jerusalem Valley Fire in short succession, we've lost more than 2,000 homes. At this point in 2021, I think there are maybe 10% of our population that has not been evacuated at one point or another. And so when you realize how close any of us is to experiencing homelessness, it really changed the will of the community to have some kind of offering for people experiencing homelessness. So in 2015, I was able to open up the Warming Center. And that was with the help of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Lakeport. If it wasn't for them, we would not have been able to get it open. And because we were doing such a good job with the Warming Center, we started running evacuation centers during all of the fires that followed. And sometimes we'd have people that were evacuated due to fire. Sometimes we would have people evacuated due to flood. And often it was the people that were coming to the Warming Center that would help us gear up for those large scale evacuations and do that work. And so while I was focused on doing the Warming Center and trying to create more homeless services in Lake County than what we had prior to that, Shelley Muscari came to me at my office at the church one day, and she said, we want to do something big to help our population experiencing homelessness. What do you think we should do? And like a food truck big. That's what I'm thinking, she said. And I said, they don't need a food truck. Churches offer free meals all around the county. If you have a bus pass, you can get a free meal somewhere in Lake County every day of the week. Now, that was before COVID, of course. It's a lot different now. But at that time, it was true. So I said, they don't need a food truck. What they need is a shower trailer. And so she said, that's a great idea. We'll do it. And Adventist Health did. They did a golf fundraiser. They got the money to do the shower trailer. And as I was seeing their commitment to helping people experiencing homelessness, and in conversations with Shelley, she started to ask me what I would think about running a full-time shelter of some sort, rather than just the Warming Center, which was only at night. And so that very much interested me, and I joined the team at Adventist Health. And 4 years ago, we started Project Restoration. And Project Restoration isn't really a shelter because anybody can't just go there like they could at the Warming Center. But it did serve at any given time and is still operating today, up to 10 people. And I didn't leave the church exactly, but I no longer serve the church full time because I do this work, which is Project Restoration. And then because Project Restoration was so successful, again, working with the community well-being team at Adventist Health, Shelley and later Russ and Marilyn Wakefield, we got this idea for Hope Center based on everything that we had learned at Project Restoration, but we knew that it needed to be bigger and it needed to be lower barrier. So the medical needs that are part of the requirement of getting into Project Restoration are not part of what it takes to get into Hope Center, which allows us to help many more people. So that's kind of how I got into this work, and I'm really delighted to be a part of it now.
So we have community showers at the community building. Is that run by Hope Center or Hope Rising?
The community showers is actually ran through Adventist Health Clear Lake.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So if I'm understanding there's a lot of different community needs going on, but I believe the showers is under Adventist Health, and we partner with them for the Hope Center, so we're all one big umbrella.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And the community showers, is that something just for the city of Clear Lake, or do they go to different places?
Pastor Shan would know more about this, but I believe it is all around the lake.
Oh, okay.
And Adventist is amazing with taking part in that and helping out. They're constantly doing things, providing free backpacks and USB chargers, water, keeping everybody that is experiencing homelessness healthy as they can be. So, it's been good.
That's awesome. All right.
Yeah, so that's great. So you said some of the things that you do in the community, and some outreach with the kids and stuff. What do you do for the outreach for for the adults, the camps that are out here that, or that people are homeless? Do you guys, focus anything on them? Does anybody go out and talk to these people that are out here? Because a lot of them are kind of not so much in coming into town and doing things. So how do you guys reach the people that are in the camps that need help? Do you guys do any outreach to them?
So right now we, as we are so new with Hope Center, we only opened in December. We're still making sure everything's operating with Hope Center, but we definitely would love to do outreach to, people that are experiencing homelessness, not wanting to come into town, getting those services that they qualify for. So that's a great idea. That's something we'll have to outreach and talk to our team about.
Yeah, because I know that we find that even with just the showers,
Right.
You have to almost go into their campsites, and as long as they know you're there to help them, they don't get too too
Right.
much. It's always good to take somebody that kind of
Exactly.
goes in them and they
Mhm.
know them and stuff like that.
We
So,
have an open door policy
Mhm.
too at the Hope Center. Anyone can walk in that is needing help, and we have our case manager on site, transitional housing program manager on site, all there, 24/7 staff is there to help.
So if somebody walked in at 1:00 in the morning, they would let them in and talk to them.
Yes,
Okay.
yep, that's what
Yeah,
we're there
good.
for.
Because
You're-
that's
you're
what's
a
needed. They need a
24/7
24/7
Facility.
facility.
We are,
Yeah.
yep.
Which is pretty awesome too, because the residents that are there, we're constantly building relationships with them, talking with them, and I think that's a big thing in our community. It's a small town,
Mhm.
and that word of mouth is going to spread around the town, and so.
Especially in the homeless community.
Oh yeah, it's so
Mhm.
important that they hear about all the great things that we're doing, the positive environment that we have for them. It's something that's very special, and it's pretty awesome to be a part of.
Oh, that's great.
That's great. Do you follow up with your clients after they've left the program?
Yes.
Is this oh, you do? So you keep in contact?
We do.
Oh, okay.
We've actually already housed 15 participants within the last 6 months of us being open.
When you say house, what does that mean? What does that entitle?
We've found permanent solutions for them.
Wow, okay.
Apartments, if they
Okay.
choose to purchase trailers, anything like that is sustainable housing for them. We help them provide, and we also help pay. We have a grant for helping pay the rent for that as well.
Wow.
So we get them to where they need to be. We follow up with them after, make sure they're not going back into some bad habits they may have had when coming into our program. So we're already starting to do our
I
follow-ups.
mean, you guys are real proactive on this. I mean, this is amazing that, you don't, it's not just a part-time thing. I mean, you get involved in these folks' lives.
Right.
And help them and further their journey in sobriety, obviously.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
biggest thing is making sure they don't follow those bad habits again if that's something they were experiencing. Mhm.
Right. So how about the ones that, come in and then they're not as successful as being housed, and they end up, some of them takes 3 or 4 times for them. So do you reach out to the people that have come through your program unless they weren't successful, but yet might still could be if they were contacted? Because I just dealt with these people I didn't sound very good, but I've dealt with the homeless and the drugs and the alcohol and stuff, and almost all of them want help, but it's a very addictive thing, and once they get into it. And I remember when Hope Rising was being put together and we were doing the house in Lower Lake, one of the things I told them are you going to accept them coming in and out several times, because it's not going to be like they're going to come in and all of a sudden this miracle they're cured. They're going to leave, they're going to get back, but how are we going to entice them to come back in? So do you ever contact the people that left the programs to say, hey, we just want you to know that we're here. If you want to come back, you can. Do you ever do any of that kind of
We
contacting?
definitely do. I mean, if someone cannot get sober, we suggest that we, have them be in a rehab facility. If we feel they've made progress, they're always more than welcome to be back in our program. Sometimes a better fit is other solutions throughout our county. We have the Thule House, we have Elijah House, we have all of these great programs that fit those, individuals' needs best. So
Are you guys affiliated with Elijah House or any of those?
we're not, but we are, community friends of them,
Yeah.
and
So-
Yeah.
So what is the Thule House? Eliza House, I think we've heard of, and
Yeah.
I heard that they now have a detox center there too.
Right.
So
right.
what's the Thule House?
Thule House is for mothers experiencing SUDS, anything to do with alcoholism or help that they're needing to provide if they are with child. And that, I believe, is a new program that just started a few years ago as well.
So one of the problems I found in Lake County is I can find places for men, but if, let's say, they're just a woman and they don't have their kids and stuff, it doesn't seem to be any place, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. I've called the 800 numbers.
Sure.
I did all the process, and I was aggravated, and I'm not on drugs. So if you're if you're drinking or you're on drugs and you're trying to get
That's
help,
gotta be frustrating.
those 800 numbers have been really, I just hate to say it, useless.
Right.
They've been very
Right.
useless. So what do you do for the women that don't have kids? There's no place here in Lake County for them. How do they get into other?
You guys have, the Hope Center,
Yeah.
you guys have a spot for them.
Yeah, we
But
help
what if
men
they
and
want
women.
a more residential? Your guys is kind of lenient. No offense, it's just real lenient. You let them come and go, but most of these need more structure. You know, this is a great place for them to start, but a lot of them want residential centers. The ones I've talked to, just the women that I've talked to, is like there's just no residential centers for them. And of course, I have to say it. You know, you don't always believe them because of what they do. But so I got the numbers they were calling and started doing the process myself, and could not find a place. So
Well, not that we aren't lenient. I mean, they have to be actively searching for housing, actively searching for a job if they don't already have one. We have everyone on staff to help them with that. We do have a women's, dorm side at our Hope Center too. So
But what if they need a more strict residential center, like, I guess Forest Street's over in Ukiah or something like that, or the ones down in Santa Rosa? Those are the only ones I know about, so.
I'm not familiar with those. What's the structure that they have there?
Well, they're more structured, like, they can't just leave the premises and stuff like that. They're more facility, like the DAC program down there is, you're there, you don't leave the facility.
So it's almost
For
like
30
in-house?
days, it's kind of a lockdown for 30 days.
Okay.
No contact with anybody and stuff. And I used to think that was really strict, but as I've learned,
Sure.
that's what,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's what a good 98% of them probably need, is that more strict policies.
Right.
Because
right.
if you're if you're into especially drugs,
Besides
you
a
know,
rehab facility.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
You walk out of there and you're back into the streets, and somebody comes up and it's just easy, and so they haven't went through a strong enough time for themselves. I'm
More
gonna say.
intensive care.
Right.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna say that's what a lot of them need here, is that they've been on drugs for so long that they need more of something that's not gonna be around the people where they know and it's easy for them to get the
Right.
drugs, and to give them
Right.
some self of healing. That's why I think why they do the 30-day lockdown, is to give themselves some healing on themselves. And I always try to tell them, you have to forgive yourself so that you
Sure.
can move on to do other things.
I have
And,
to say, we still have a lot of work to do.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
our community
It's a
does-
journey, right?
When I was growing up here, there really wasn't any homeless shelters or
I know.
programs, and to see returning here, as a young adult and seeing all these services we now have is amazing,
yeah.
right? But there's still so much work to do, and there should be other solutions that are not provided yet.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what this show is about, is bringing awareness
Yeah.
Right.
to that, bring that awareness to our community, to our county, to the people. And a lot of like what you guys do, and Faith, you did an amazing job telling us about this, is your sponsorships. Like who sponsors you. And folks, we're going to take you away right now, and Faith is going to tell you all their great sponsors.
So Hope Rising, we focus on the top statistical health and wellness needs in Lake County, and we partner with other agencies and entities to provide solutions together. So one of the things that we're focusing on is individuals experiencing homelessness. From this, we created the Hope Center, launched in December 2020. As we partner with everyone around the county, we could not have done this without our partners for the Hope Center. Our partners include Adventist Health Clear Lake, Partnership Health Plan of California, the City of Clear Lake, Lake County Behavioral Health Services, and Lake County Continuum of Care. Again, we could not have done this without our partners in creating the Hope Center. We've already found 15 participants permanent housing in just 6 months. We are so fortunate with the support of Lake County that we've been awarded the Stars of Lake County for Nonprofit of the Year. We wanted to thank all of our supporters in this initiative.
And you had another question?
I was just wondering, does the Adventist Health now have where somebody can walk in? I heard that somebody can walk in there and they would detox them. Do you know if that's That's I would think that since you work with Adventist
Yeah.
Health, that you would know that. So I just happened to hear that out on the street, said if somebody wanted. And so since we were interviewing you guys, I thought, well, we're gonna ask you before I go to
Yeah,
Adventist
I'm
Health.
not.
to say-
I'm not exactly sure that Pastor Shannon would know more on that since she's more firsthand with the clients.
Right, I think
Um,
we'll cover that
yeah.
when we do the segment.
Okay.
We're gonna do a segment later.
Yeah.
For you guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So I mean, I think you guys are doing a fantastic job. As a city council member that I am, we, supported the program, from the beginning to help get the building going in hopes that we could help our homeless, find themselves is what I call it, find themselves again, because I think that's what it is. I feel like they've just got lost.
Yeah.
And they're still there, and I still think there's a lot of good people that are still there, they just, need some help.
Yeah.
And so,
Right,
what you guys do there, I mean, really appreciate, especially hitting the kids. I think that is where it all starts.
True.
It really starts at keeping the kids from going down that
Yeah,
road.
true.
And,
Exactly.
and it's
Right.
unfortunate when they grow up into it, you would hope that they see it and they wouldn't do it,
True.
but unfortunately, that's not just how it goes all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
I'd
hitting
love
the
to talk
kids-
about our youth governance board that we're forming
Oh.
in Lakeport.
Oh.
Since we've been touching on Clear Lake so much.
Yeah.
But it's a prevention tool to help them stay off of those drugs and
Yeah.
have them doing something active.
And that's
Yeah.
something
Wanna
that you
touch
talked
on that.
you talked about that a little bit, is that, before, is that sometimes kids in our community don't have anything to do.
Right.
So they get sucked into negativity.
Yeah.
So providing more opportunities for them to do more positive
Right.
pro-social stuff is important.
And it's a learned behavior. I
Yeah.
mean, they see
Sure.
it in their community. They see it. I hate to say it, sometimes in their parents, and
Sure.
and so they grow to think that this is an acceptable behavior, acceptable way of life, and hard for them to get away from that.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
what we're looking to do, is provide another opportunity for them to be a part of something that's positive, something that they can learn about. And so we're trying to partner with Lakeport City Council. And
Are
we're-
we airing right now?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if we were. Did you want to ask Justin about the youth governance board? Maybe go into that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we can do
Okay.
that. What is it called again?
So it's the ACT, or All Children Thrive program. And
Okay,
it's
All
basically
Children Thrive
a grant that we've received, and we focused on the Lakeport area for this. And the idea is to work and partner with the Lakeport City Council, along with Jolene Treadway through
Harbor on Main.
Harbor on Main, thank you very much. And the whole idea is to give the kids, like we were talking about before, something to do, something positive, something they can learn. And the whole idea is that we want to develop leadership and growth and understanding of what our city government is about. And if we can draw kids into this, it might open up a whole nother world to them that they might be interested in. Maybe they can be a part of this while they're here, and maybe later on they return and they come back to Lake County
Having
to
a
be a part of
voice
it.
for their community.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's so important.
Because adults, we have all the answers.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, sometimes kids have some great insight.
I
and
think
it's
the
important
kids
to listen
have a lot more answers than
Yeah,
what
right.
they
To
give
learn
credit
from them.
for.
Yeah.
I listen. I love when I was running the youth center because those kids educated me so
yeah.
much, and they're very intelligent. And what I found working in that is they get depressed, and they have things going on in their houses. They get depressed, and they're looking for relief.
Sure.
And I think that is a high percentage of why they get into drugs,
Yeah.
is because they get depressed. And kids don't know depression. They don't know why they're feeling the way they feel. I ask them, why are you feeling so down? I don't know. They just don't know. They don't know. You have to really work with them, and you have to have somebody that's able to spend the time to take that, and I was really lucky that I was able to do that at the youth center. I mean, it's I had principals call me, okay, I'm having problems with this kid, I know he goes there, can you come help me? And I would go up there and help him.
That's awesome.
And it was, and I have one kid in particular that was really having a hard time, but now I see him now, and he's in high school, and he's doing really good, and he's got himself into sports, and because that's what I taught him. So I tried to talk him into getting into karate, because we had some karate classes there, and finally getting him to see that that's where, and so he started getting into sports and is doing really good. So it's just somebody taking the time, and I know not everybody has the time to take, but sometimes I would have to sit with him all day and talk to him, and it took me all day to find out what happened. And when the principal asked me, how did you, I said, I'll have 30 or 100 kids that you and I oversee. I'm able to take my time with him and work with him all day. By the end of the day, I normally could piece together what happened, and then I could sit down with him and say, so what I understand is this happened, and then this was the reaction of why you do things. There has to be some place that the kids are where we have to get this stopped at, and that's having activities, having counselors, and having somebody that could spend some time with them is really important, so.
It's a key thing that you did was that you took the time to listen. And sometimes that's the thing, a lot of youth in our community get a
They
bad
just
rap.
need someone to listen, an ear to
And
lean on.
understand, you know, that there's a lot of things going on in our community, and that's my biggest concern, and our biggest concern is that you look at all the different dynamics going on right now. We have kids that have missed school and not had a full complete year of school in the last 6 years. So you have
Yeah.
6th graders that have never
Yeah.
completed a full year of school.
Right.
And then you throw in COVID as well.
Yeah.
So the more opportunities we can provide for these kids just to sit here and listen, because I think there's gonna be a huge impact that's gonna impact generations of kids because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so if we can provide an opportunity for them to learn about their community, have an opportunity to be listened and heard,
Right.
and voice their opinion and say, hey, here's some things we would like to bring to our community.
Exactly.
And with this opportunity to develop leadership in our community, this program with ACT and Lakeport is a great opportunity for youth, for our community, our city council members.
Right.
It's going to be a well-rounded program. It's going to be great.
One big thing I really advocate for is having youth come back to the county.
Yeah.
I did that, so I'm being biased, but
Yeah.
we often get
I
sucked
did
in,
too. I
right?
came back.
We often get sucked into some of the negativity things about Lake County, and I love
Yeah.
to touch on the beautiful parts about Lake County.
And
you
that's
know?
what Lake Life is about.
Right,
is
and how
showing people just how
lucky.
beautiful
Yeah.
this
Right.
place is.
How
you know?
lucky we are to have this community
God,
come
yes.
together
Yeah.
and be in a beautiful place. You know,
Exactly.
I wish we would have more generational kids come back and be the next.
I think we're gonna
voice.
start seeing more of that. I
Agree.
mean, I meet people all the time that left and has moved back.
Yep.
I mean, so there's actually
Right.
quite a few that are coming back because,
Yeah.
I mean, I say this is God's country. I've lived all over the United States, and I kept coming back, and finally in the '90s, I was like, I'm just staying, you know.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because I was like, why are you moving to Lake County? Because it's beautiful,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and everybody was friendly, and you know, you could get involved in the community. I right away, you know, contacted a nonprofit because I always feel like when you go to a new place, you know, get involved in your community. So I
Right.
contacted, found out who the largest nonprofit was, what they did, and it was homeless and stuff. And you know, here I am to help. You know, and it's you're giving back to your community, but you're also meeting community people
Exactly.
that do good for their community, and you know, those are the type of people I want to associate
Yeah.
with. So of course you go find those people, you know, that you want to associate with. And you know, it's where you meet and you
Yeah.
get to know everybody in the county, you know, and
Yeah.
because you're all over the place doing
Yeah.
all these different things. So, you know, not only was I giving to a community that I wanted to live in, and I grew up here, you know, in the '70s, but it was also I got to meet and see all the fantastic things that started that weren't here when I was growing up as a kid, you know.
Yeah, there's
so
so many more
yeah.
resources.
And
here
now,
Absolutely.
yes,
Right.
now we've just expanded so much.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
So I'm curious, would you know, our communities watching, what can they do for you guys? I mean, how can they participate with you? I mean,
Yeah.
is there opportunity there?
There's so many opportunities with us.
Okay.
As I was saying, we focus on, you know, the top statistical needs, which is individuals experiencing homelessness, drug overdose, and youth initiatives. So we have a lot of projects going on right now.
Right.
You can volunteer at the Hope Center.
Oh, okay.
You can.
You guys take donations?
Yes, we
Okay.
take monetary donations. That's
Awesome.
always amazing.
Okay. And probably needed as well.
Right, you
Okay.
can always reach out to me and learn more about how you want to get involved and what subject you want to get involved in. We're always
Yeah.
looking for people to pass out Narcan with us,
Okay.
assemble Narcan kits, get involved with
Yes.
our youth initiatives,
There you go.
help out the kids one-on-one, get
So
mentors.
empowering your community.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, okay. And I hear you guys have a community garden as well. Or you're working on
At
it.
the Hope Center?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
We just
awesome.
started it, so
Okay.
there's nothing growing yet, but
Okay.
we're working
So you need
on it.
volunteers.
We do.
All
Yeah,
right.
we need people with green thumbs.
Okay. All right.
Sky's the limit with us, you know.
Oh, there you go.
So would they just come to the Hope Center, or do you have a phone number that you can give out for people to call?
Yeah. I mean, you can email me, faith@hoperising.lc.org, and you can also go to our website, hoperising.lc.org.
And the phone number?
That's
Yeah,
my
but-
personal phone number.
Oh.
I'm not sure if I'm going to give that out yet.
You don't have the office number?
We have the Hope Center number. I should know that by heart.
That's okay.
Right?
All right,
This is my
okay.
phone.
That's okay. We can probably
Maybe you
find
can
it.
edit it in
Yeah.
under
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Put that number right there. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. we
All
can
right,
do
folks.
that.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Justin Gaddy, Faith Hornby, thank you guys so much for coming in. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate you telling the community about this wonderful place. Most of us have driven by it on Olympic Drive and had no idea what was going in, and well, now you know, folks. Stop
Sure.
by, say hi. They got a garden. They need donations. They need volunteers. Stop by and say hi.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I know I did.
I did too. That was great.
Yeah, it was nice to meet Faith Hornby and Justin Gaddy and Pastor Shannon, and learn what this amazing group in our community is all about. It was an eye-opener for me.
They do a lot of things in our community. I don't think we probably realize how much this one organization does throughout the county.
And if you don't know, well, you'll see their website, and do check them out. And I know they are a nonprofit, so always looking for donations, or I'm sure they're always looking for cheap labor, as most nonprofits are.
Volunteer. Please
Volunteer.
always volunteer at any
Exactly.
nonprofit of your choice. But they're a great group, and they do a lot of things. I know that they need volunteers probably to help with the showers and stuff that they do through the around the lake. So,
Exactly.
you know,
Well, and don't forget they have a garden they're putting in, and
Yes.
any donation would be amazing for them. So,
yeah.
take the time to get involved with your community, and small token for us. Don't forget to like,
And
subscribe. That's right. That's right. Just takes a second for you to push that button, but for us, it means the world. I mean, this is how we continue to do these wonderful things that we do. And thank you. And stay tuned, because we got another great episode of Lake Life coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, we finally got our 50th subscriber.
All right.
So congratulations, Rose. We got a cup coming for you. Appreciate you subscribing. And I think we'll do the same thing for number 75. We're going to give away another one of our cups. Some great swag going on. Joyce has got some ideas of some new stuff.
And on the other side, it says Lake Live.
Lake Live. There we
go. So.
And we were thinking some maybe sweatshirts. I don't know. We're a long ways away from winter or
Yeah.
fall, but something to prepare for. Maybe shirts. I don't know. What are your ideas? Send us an email, lcptv@hotmail.com.
And
And-
don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe. Thank you.
And
Subscribe.
go to our YouTube LCPTV and subscribe and pass the word.
Pass the word. Yeah.
That's
Check
what
out
it
our
is.
show.
Yeah.
Tell all your friends. Share with everyone.
And-
Lake Life. Yeah.
and- And if you have any ideas that you'd like to see on the show, please feel free to give us an email on that.
Please do.
Let us-
Yeah.
let us
You know somebody interesting in this community that we don't know, or maybe there's a lot of people here. So
something happening that you might like to see some more information on.
Definitely that.
That's what we're here for. We're here to give the community the information that they'd like to hear about. So, and spread the word about different things that go on in our county. So it's it's just really kind of getting out there and seeing what people do to live the lake life here.
that's
So,
it. And we want to know what you do, living your
Yeah.
lake life. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, till next time. See you next about two weeks. Bye.